The introduction of new equipment in World of Tanks always affects the gameplay. Some things might change insignificantly, as, for example, with improved equipment and bounty equipment. And other things might even change the very principles and templates that have been around for many years. For example, what happened with Equipment 2.0? Now there's an addition to the newcomers list. Meet experimental equipment with extended opportunities for more flexible vehicle tuning. When mounting a piece of equipment, you must choose between the enhanced gun-laying drive and vertical stabilizer, or the turbocharger and improved rotation mechanism, or the improved hardening and modified configuration. In some cases, it's pretty obvious what most players will choose. But isn't it best to have everything at once? 3 new pieces of experimental equipment give players just such an opportunity. When mounting them, you receive several bonuses at once that are divided into a main bonus and additional bonuses. For clarity, all equipment in the game currently has specialized bonuses that define its specifics. Bonuses for experimental equipment are more diverse. The main bonus can be from any piece of equipment in the game. If this piece of equipment, for example, improved hardening, has an effect, the item of experimental equipment will also inherit it. At the same time, you cannot mount standard equipment into a neighboring slot if its bonuses coincide with the main bonus of the piece of experimental equipment. It works similarly to Fire Control System and Mobility Improvement System. Additional bonuses can combine several characteristics from different pieces of equipment at once. You can enhance them by mounting equipment of a similar type in a neighboring slot. However, it's only possible if both the main and additional bonuses are not part of the same equipment. For example, Improved Mobility System has several additional bonuses from Turbocharger. But since Turbocharger also provides the main bonus, you can't mount it into the neighboring slot. The other part of additional bonuses is provided by Improved Rotation Mechanism. That's why you can mount this equipment in the neighboring slot to boost these bonuses. Yes, it might not be quite rational in certain cases, but having this opportunity can't hurt. Let's see the example of an equipment set where mounting standard equipment to boost experimental equipment is more than justified. Equip one vehicle with improved mobility system, enhance it with improved rotation mechanism, and mount equipment to your liking into the third slot. Equip another vehicle with standard equipment with similar characteristics. As you can see, both vehicles are similar in terms of their mobility. However, the first one has a free slot that you can use to add more DPM, stabilization, or survivability. The second vehicle doesn't have such an option, meaning you will have to sacrifice something to improve other characteristics. That's why you should go to the Compare menu before mounting experimental equipment and try different combinations with standard equipment. This way, you'll be able to find more effective setups for all vehicle types. Also, take into account that the effect and part of the bonuses from familiar equipment are not transferred to the additional bonuses of experimental equipment. For example, Survival Improvement Suite doesn't inherit some of the modified configuration bonuses, as well as its effect, which can save you from the vagaries of random battles. This principle applies to all experimental equipment. Regarding categories, experimental equipment doesn't have any. That's why it's not important into which slot it's mounted. At the same time, you can upgrade it and make it more efficient. The principle of modernization is similar to upgrading bounty equipment. However, experimental equipment has as many as 3 upgrade levels. Upgrade level 1 is just the beginning. At this level, you get your first experimental equipment item with characteristics close to the standard equipment. Upgrade level 2 improves these characteristics and makes the equipment item even better. Finally, upgrade level 3, in terms of the sum of its characteristics, it will be a nice alternative to improved equipment. You will need components to increase upgrade levels. This new game feature can be obtained for disassembling experimental equipment as well as for participating in certain events. It's worth noting that the number of required components will vary depending on the upgrade level. That means you'll need fewer components to go from upgrade level 1 to 2 than to go from upgrade level 2 to 3. At the same time, it's important to take into account that mounting and demounting experimental equipment also has its nuances. Unlike standard equipment, experimental equipment is not divided into classes. The same piece of equipment can be mounted on both a Tier 5 and Tier 10 vehicle. However, experimental equipment has the same limitations as standard equipment and may be incompatible with some vehicles. For example, you can't mount fire control system on tank destroyers and artillery, since these vehicle types can't be equipped with stabilizers. Demounting experimental equipment only differs from standard equipment in cost. Upgrade level 1 can be demounted with demounting kits or gold, just like standard equipment. Upgrade levels 2 and 3 are demounted with components. That's why mounting such equipment items requires more thorough preparation. You should really think through if it's necessary on a particular vehicle. You can get experimental equipment for taking part in game events. Follow updates on the website to learn more about them. Experimental equipment is a new way to look at the capabilities of your vehicle. You can mount everything, and then a bit more at the top. You can bring your tank to the limit of its capabilities and have no doubts when choosing equipment items. And, most importantly, you can fine-tune your vehicle to fit your playstyle. Happy tuning, Commanders!